on, get back out there.
It's Jay-Z Clark.
We need to get him back out there. Welcome to
Yes.
you, Jay-Z.
Great to be
What do you
here.
think about the new surroundings?
Deluxe. And I think, this is just going to lift you guys to another level, like the polished surrounds. I mean, you've been battling sort of Arden Street resources at the other place, but now
Not
you're at sort
anymore,
of
thanks,
Collingwood.
Jay-Z. They were days of the past. They had an amazing president come in, fix all that.
And
But we had to move. We had to move, Fat.
yes,
I couldn't have him where you are.
I was sitting there, but we were looking in each other's eyes.
And
we
it,
were.
it didn't work.
It is a romantic.
No, it's not right, buddy.
Not
It's
right
not
with him. Not when I've got bloody mini me but large. Now,
Now you got mini me.
tell us, Buddy Franklin.
Yes. Big story just reported by Mark Robinson only moments ago that the champ, Lance Franklin, is open to moving to a third club.
Fair income.
So he's been paid an enormous amount over the past 8 years at the
Yes,
Swans. We know that, $1 million a year. He's been living the life up there at Bondi, etc. But he wants, Robbo says, about 700 to 800 a year to go again up there in red and white for another 1 or 2 seasons. The Swans only prepared to offer about 500. $500,000, which
Not
is
bad.
probably about.
Oh, right. You
Probably
would have
about
thought.
right.
Because with the money he's already received from them, wow.
stack.
Yeah, exactly.
Fat stack.
I
So,
can't
do you
believe it.
think, Jay-Z, that there's a sense of he owes him a bit after all that he's received? Is that what you're sort of alluding to?
Absolutely, Jim. Surely
500 after all he's received is still a decent whack.
received probably the game's greatest ever contract or thereabouts to go from Hawthorn to
Yep.
Sydney as a free agent. So, look, I think we all expected this to be a rubber stamp, a formality sort of situation. Buddy would go on again. He's kicked the milestone goals, etc. But
2 more goals to go past Gary Ablett Senior.
your mate.
Yeah, my mate. I haven't seen him for 10 years, but he's me mate.
So then it begs the question,
Yes.
right? And the story, Robbo writes, he's the chief. He writes that he is open to coming back home to Melbourne.
Which leaves a hole up there.
You're very good at joining these trade dots, Bill. I've always said this.
Yes.
If you think about big
Yes.
Melbourne clubs in the window, could work out something like this, where could he land?
Oh, there's not smoke, there's dust.
Oh, my
It's
God.
dusty. dusty to leave Richmond and go to Sydney.
A straight swap.
Bang, bang.
Could you believe it?
So, do they want Buddy at Richmond
Well,
for
Jack
700?
Jack Rewalt's sort of
Yes.
getting towards the end of his career. Could he work with Tom Lynch? It does make you think. If Dustin Martin wants to get out of the Melbourne fishbowl and go up there to Sydney, enjoy a bit of anonymity up there, would Lance Franklin be in the yellow on black? It is very interesting. I think this trade period is going to be a bonanza. I think last year we were writing the same story about Adam Cerra over and over again, Bill. We had nothing to do.
No.
This year's
I'll see
trade
that.
period, I think, will be very different. And this is a curveball we did not see.
Wow.
Did not see coming about the champ, Lance Franklin.
North Melbourne, a massive story yesterday with David Noble leaving. Where are they at?
Yes, well, there has been a rumour that has swept Melbourne over the past 24 hours that they really want Ross Lyon and that he's the man. Bernie Vince has said he will be the coach of the North Melbourne
would
Football
Bernard
Club.
know?
How would he know?
Seriously, if you're going to try and make a story sound credible,
Yeah.
you're not throwing Burns' name at it.
And Tom Rockcliffe, you'll say
Oh,
next.
now,
No,
no,
has backed him.
No, it's well, and look, he would be for mine, and we sit next to him and listen to him every week, Rabs. He would be perfect. However, having spoken to the great man not so long ago,
Today?
he seems very, very comfortable.
Spoke to him today. Yes.
An hour ago.
Right.
He seems very, very comfortable in the Triple M commentary box, in loving life with us, Rabs, on a Sunday. So I would be shocked if he went to Arden Street to take
What
on
else
that coaching
does
job.
he do? Because you just wouldn't do work on a Sunday, which we all love. What else does he do?
He does very good work for the Wiesel Property Group, which does a lot of commercial sort of
Oh, yeah.
space,
Yep.
and he's making some smart investments
Good.
in that area. Now, I think he would be perfect. Like he's so smart. We watch the game with him, and he picks up things which we don't even think about seeing. So he would be fantastic. I think he's moved on. I don't think the Carlton experience was super for him. And does that list appeal? It's a long way away,
Oh,
Bill.
it's a
at
long,
North Melbourne.
long.
So is North Melbourne here going to be left
I
with
don't
an
agree
untried?
with that, by the way.
What do
I
you
don't
think?
think the list is anywhere near as bad. I actually said that. Might have said it to you when we arrived on the weekend, certainly to Bernie.
Nearly fall off
Preparing
my chair.
for the game on the weekend on the plane. I haven't seen North play live for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the team that they put out on the weekend and I said there is no way that team should be playing as bad as it is. And then they didn't.
Yep.
Now, don't get me wrong, they're not winning the flag.
Yep.
No.
But it's nowhere near as bad as it's
Yep.
been performing. There's no doubt about
I
it.
think Taron Thomas been playing unders. I think Jaden Stevenson been playing unders.
Well, go the other way. Who's been playing to their optimum?
One.
Luke Davies-Uniacke.
That's it.
And maybe Luke McDonald.
Ben
There mi-
Mackay.
And, Benny Mackay, but he's been in and out, not his fault, injury. And I think Todd Goldstein's had a good year.
Yes.
That's about all you can say.
I put it to you, Jim, that David Noble lost the players in round 3. As far back
Brisbane?
as round 3. Brisbane, when he cooked them after losing by 100 points, none of the relationships were repaired from there. And then the writing
That's
was on
the
the wall.
story
at that
doing the rounds, that he lost the players and the young players.
Look, I can't comment because I don't know, but what I'd say is that's why I don't think it's as grim as people think. Because when you look at the list and you go, okay, we've now been able to nominate 4 blokes that are playing anywhere near their optimum, there's huge upside in the other 40.
Yep.
If you get any of them getting close to what they're capable of, you're going to see a vastly improved performance. More from you in just a sec. What do you tease us with something? Brodie
Tease.
Grundy.
Just say something.
Is there a blockbuster Collingwood trade deal in the works?
More Jay Clark next on the Rush Hour, Triple M.
Question of that.
Spot on.
Now, Clary Oliver
here.
plays.
Oh, I think it's doubtful, Jim. I think it's doubtful, but all eyes on training tomorrow, right? So he had surgery on the fractured thumb, I think, Saturday. And I think he had got 12 possessions with a fractured thumb,
He
right?
did.
Which is way tougher than you or I.
You
would
ever
have.
Just
were,
say
Bill.
you.
Yeah.
Jim would
You.
be
I
courageous.
batted
Oh,
on
he,
with
he would have
it.
batted, but don't
He
worry.
actually did, thanks.
Exactly. So Melbourne are saying
Spinner broke his thumb.
only a couple of hours ago that they're going to see if he can train tomorrow and make a call on that. But it is probably more unlikely that he takes on Port Adelaide up there at Alice Springs on Sunday.
Luke Jackson, while we're on the Demons.
Everyone says that he's going at the moment. Like, it's just the talk around town is that he is headed home. He wants to go back. He wants to be a key piece in their ability to win the club's first premiership.
Freo, yes.
Fremantle.
All right, so do you think
Bitcoin.
that's a sign, Jay-Z, that we have matured as an industry? Because about 5 years ago, if this were the case,
Yep.
he would be hounded every week.
It'd be up
The
in
Demons
arms.
would be hounded every week.
Yep.
But it hasn't slid under the radar, but it's not as talked
Spoken.
about as it used to be.
I agree.
Or do we do the NRL and announce it halfway through the year that he's going back to Freo? How would that go?
I think while they're still aiming for finals, I don't think you need to officially announce it. Like, who did that? Phil Davis did that at Adelaide, and they basically kicked him out. Lockie Henderson at Carlton, they did
No,
the same
but we're
thing.
maturing.
Yes, we are maturing. I'm not sure that we're quite to that point yet, but I think you're right. Now, Luke Jackson has helped win Melbourne a premiership, right?
And he's played some real good footy at times this year too.
And Fremantle has showed, Jim, losing Adam Chera, when you get an early pick, you bring in Adam Sard, it's not the worst. You just got to make that situation work for you, right? So I don't think we need to get too emotional about a player leaving. He
But
was
I
from
guess
WA.
I guess they're going to look at it and go, we're going to need something else because Freo's pick's going to be 15 or 16 the way they're going.
It's got to be 2 early picks, right?
So it might be West Coast then.
and that is the situation. However, it's much less appealing. They're down the bottom of the ladder.
Early pick.
He's a Freo boy, and then once the player picks the club, then it's a negotiation between Melbourne and Fremantle.
Unless it goes all Josh Dunkley and he stays.
Unless-
Speaking of Josh Dunkley.
Yes, so he's a big watch. I'm expecting
What's
him,
a big watch?
Josh Dunkley, in his future at the kennel, because they've been signing all
He
these
won't
players.
leave Trelaw.
What do you think that because of the bromance is
Oh,
that
mate,
strong?
that's huge.
Well,
I saw him
I don't think he's been shown the money, to be honest. So
having coffee.
And I think we talked about Fremantle. Could be advantageous because they desperately need, Jim, a big key forward
Defender.
defender.
More defender.
to plug that defense, which is statistically one of the worst in the competition. So Josh Dunkley out, maybe some key position personnel in, and that works for him. But the big story might be at Collingwood.
Or Brodie.
Just Bailey Smith before we get on.
Oh,
to
yes.
Collingwood.
Bailey Smith. So he's expected to sign a 2-year deal. Back in the team Friday night, they play St Kilda. Luke Beveridge said he's got a bit of fire in the belly. He's missed 4 games.
4 weeks he's had off, or longer probably.
Headbutting. No, 4 weeks.
Yep.
4 games.
Forwarding, and then
4
the
games,
illicit drugs issue. Luke Beveridge says they've moved on from that.
He's
They've
in a
been
good
pleased.
headspace,
Yeah.
looking forward to getting back out there
Get back out
and
there.
playing a game with his teammates.
Wants
That's
to-
what he said.
Wants to prove a point, Bill. You know, when they want to prove a point, they're all very motivated. So that'll be a big game.
So Collingwood.
Yes. So
Oh, Brodie.
big watch here on the superstar big man, 2-time All-Australian Brodie Grundy. Now, let me just put this out there, right? If you're a Collingwood fan, would you lose Brodie Grundy for Tim Taranto, the superstar midfield forward, and maybe a bit of Bobby Hill on the side?
Oh.
So Darcy Cameron going so well in the ruck with Mason Cox, who's a bit older, I know.
I don't know, yeah.
And you get Tim Taranto, who is a like for Geordie De Goey, right?
I know.
So De Goey maybe goes out, they bring Dan McStay in, who's the key forward, the workhorse.
They're going all right as they are.
And then Tim Taranto is that striker mid forward without the sort of the behavioural stuff.
Well, we've forgotten how good Brodie Grundy is as a player
But has
because he hasn't been around. He's a very good player when he's up and going.
That was 2 years ago, Bill.
So whoever takes Brodie, they've got to pay $5 million for 5 years.
He's on $950,000 a year exactly, I believe. So Collingwood, just like the Adam Treloar situation, would have to pick up some of that tab. So that has to be like 300. The other club here is Port Adelaide. So I think Scotty Lycett's out again for the Power. Brodie Grundy could go back home. He's a South Australian boy and could lead the ruck division there. So I think Collingwood has got some options. And I think like with the Treloar and the Stevenson, which came from left field a couple of years ago, I just wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of momentum behind a Brodie Grundy deal.
Where does Tex Walker re-signing for a year, which I think we all agree with,
Yep.
given the form he's put out this year has been amazing.
Yep.
Where does that leave Riley Thilthorpe?
Phil.
Because Fogarty's going to stay,
Yep.
and he's getting better and better.
Good.
Tex is going to hold down a key spot, and so he should.
Well, they can't lose him, surely,
Well,
Jim.
so what does he do? He can't keep not
Playing down back
Well-
or something, do they?
I don't know.
I think with Darcy Fogarty, Adelaide have shown an ability to hold them back or, want to be really patient with their key forwards. Surely they couldn't lose him, right? But is Tex Walker like Brad Ottens? Is he a 15-game-a-season man? Can you try and strike a bit of a balance that
Been
way?
on the list for a while now, and still is the number one overall draft pick. Still can't hold down even close to a regular spot.
But these young giraffes, they take time, Jim.
But this has been some time.
They've been well.
They get a bit gangly.
Speaking of giraffes,
And they
Rory
got-
Lobb.
Have they got Mackesy too over there?
196 centimetres,
He's
yes.
another big one.
I think he gets out of Adelaide. Well, he can't get a game there,
That's
Bill.
right.
I
Not
think
sure what Rory was on about with his head. By the way, he just got bored, and his mum and his
Fanta.
sister turned him into Fanta pants.
the peroxide.
But he's leaving.
I think he's gone. Yep, I think the Western Bulldogs and St Kilda, the two clubs there. Does Rory Lobb solve the Western Bulldogs'
No.
forward issues?
No, he does
He's
not.
can be inconsistent, but he gives Norton a chop out. I think the big question for them is what do they do in defence, as you said,
Oh man!
and
Gotta
does
find
Norton
something.
Norton get swung back?
Much as I love Alex Keith, but he's not a monster himself.
No.
They've got to find some big-bodied unit
Yep,
that can at least arm across.
I agree.
All right, Jay-Z.
Mitch McGovern's the other one. So he is back from, I think, 3 months out with that hamstring injury. I think it might be a bit of a stretch for him to play this weekend. Of course, they got the Cats,
Big game.
blockbuster Saturday
Huge
night.
game.
But the weekend after, I think Michael Voss really wants to get Mitch McGovern into
Wow.
that back
So
line.
I go to
Intercept
Adelaide
marking
to
ability.
call the game on the weekend. I'm the only one. You're not going, are you?
No, mate.
No,
Bristol
We're here.
isn't going?
no, we're all here.
How's that work?
Short straw.
Bernie's going.
Thank
Well,
you.
he already lives there.
Yeah.
But you like it,
And
Nate.
rock.
Well, I'm a rock star there.
Oh.
And that is true,
think we just
Jay-Z.
get rid
You
of
hit the
that.
nail on the head when you use
Pub.
the word rock star. You hit the nail on the head. Good to see you always.
Thanks,
It's
fellas.
the Rush Hour Triple Ep.